Hello everybody, Lurgs here, welcome to my channel, and today it's the Land Rover Discovery tyre pressures and how to check the tyre pressures on your Land Rover Discovery. It's really important to have your tyres inflated to the correct pressure, not only for safety reasons, but you'll also get better miles per gallon. Just a note, always check the tyre pressures when the tyres are cold, because if you've been out on a long run and the tyres get warmed up, they will have a higher pressure reading. What you're going to need today is a foot pump and a tyre pressure gauge. I'm going old school, but it's fine if you've got a digital tyre inflation pump with a tyre pressure gauge on it. This is the Land Rover Discovery here, and to find out what the tyre pressures should be, if you go to the driver's door, open the driver's door, and there should be a sticker on the driver's door here showing you exactly what the pressures should be. Now, before I go into all that, you need to determine what size tyres you've got. So go round to your tyres, they should all be the same ideally. And on this particular model, we've got 255/55 R19s. Now that we've determined the tyre size that we've got on the Land Rover Discovery, you go to this chart. So on this one, 255/55 R19, if you're going to have 4 people in the Land Rover, it's going to be 33 psi on the front and 36 psi on the rear. If you've got a big car full of people and lots of luggage, so lots of extra weight, it recommends 33 psi on the front and 42 psi on the rear. Now I'm going to be checking all 4 tyres in this video. So before you remove the tyre valve cap, just check that it is the correct size on the side, and then have a good look at the tread, make sure it's got decent tread on it. Then take your tyre pressure gauge reader. I've got a manual old school one here. As I mentioned at the beginning, make sure the tyres are cold when you're checking the pressures. And this is saying 33 psi, so that is absolutely spot on. Remember to put the tyre valve cap back on. Always use plastic ones. Don't be tempted to use any fancy metal ones because they can corrode and get stuck on the threads. Nightmare trying to get those off. Always use plastic ones. Now I'm going to check the passenger side tyre. Just check the sidewall, make sure it's the correct size, which it is. Push the tyre pressure gauge in, get a good firm connection. And again, this is 33 psi, which is absolutely spot on. Put the tyre valve cap back on. Now let's go to one of the rear tyres. Now this one's definitely looking a bit underinflated. Just check the tyre wall. Yep, this is the correct size. Remove the cap. Let's just check the pressure on this. And this is saying 33 psi, and if you remember from that chart, it recommends 36 psi. So take your foot pump, push that on, get a good firm connection. If you've got a digital inflator, just set that to 36 psi, but I'm going old school using the power of my body. Don't be tempted to go by the gauge on these foot pumps because they're not very accurate. Get it reasonably close and then test it with your tyre pressure gauge. Now this old school manual one is super accurate, doesn't need any batteries and will probably work forever. And this is saying 36, absolutely spot on. So put the cap back on. Now we've got one more tyre to check around the other side. Just check the size of the tyre. Perfect. Check the pressure on this one. And this one is about 33. Again, this one is underinflated. So get the foot pump on, get a good firm connection, start pumping. Now if you do happen to overinflate it, I'll show you a nifty trick where you can let some air out. So let's just check this one. And this is saying about 36.5, 37, so it's slightly overinflated. So take the end of this tyre pressure reader gauge and just push it in on the valve, and that just releases some air. And you can just keep doing that until you get to the correct pressure. And that is now on 36 psi. So let's get the cap back on. Talking about putting the cap back on, let's get the kettle on. Time for that lovely cup of tea. Oh, I hope you're not feeling too tired or deflated after watching that video, and I hope it was useful for you. There's some other useful videos around the edges of the screen, all to do with the Land Rover Discovery. Drive safe now.